Do you like comic books? Do you like all types of nerdy shit?
Yes. We're in. Hard yes. Don't have to sell it.
Yeah.
This is the Bat in the Hat podcast. My name's Matt, and
yes.
your secret identity man.
That's me.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is the intro to our podcast, edit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bat in the Hat podcast. My name is Carol Danvers, and with me, as always, is the beautiful Matt Lee.
Oh, beautiful. Wow, that's
Gorgeous.
awful nice. That was a solid body when you said everybody. That was awesome. It like rumbled the floor just a little bit. I was impressed.
You gotta get some feedback.
And now
on
I'm
the
blushing because you called me beautiful.
It's gonna be a good episode.
Yeah, we're off to a good start.
So what are we doing? We're talking about Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Pretty late, huh?
Yeah, whatever. We do what we want.
We do. Nobody cares.
They're just words. They don't control us.
Our listeners are so loyal
and understanding
that whatever. It's not super late. Movie came out like 2.5 weeks ago. And the reason we haven't put out an episode for you guys is just because I got pretty sick, and then Matt got pretty sick, and then Matt got punched in the face by his dentist.
Yeah.
And it was a whole thing.
Was not really feeling it there for a couple days. She did a number on me.
So what was it? You said periodontal pressure washing of your mouth?
Yeah, they pretty much numb you up. Like you go in for a cleaning and they're like, we're going to numb you up and then pressure wash underneath your gums. And
that sounds awful.
On a scale of 1 to it sucked, it wasn't great.
Yeah, I don't like the sound of that.
No, I didn't like the feel of it.
But, I have a lot to say about Captain Marvel. I'm really actually excited to do this episode because just knowing me, I have a history of loving movies that other people seem to not like. Green Lantern's a good example.
I was just about to say it.
I love Green Lantern. I very much enjoyed both Batman v Superman and Justice League. I can acknowledge when movies are not good movies, but I still enjoy them. I think just as a fan, I very much enjoy them. Captain Marvel is not that way. I enjoyed it, and I thought it was a good movie. And we're going to get into exactly why. And we're going to do our ratings and do all that fun stuff. But I want to switch things up this episode, and we're going to do the news and all the announcements and stuff ahead of time, because I had a couple people say like, "Hey, you put all that stuff at the back end of 2-hour episodes."
Is that what they sounded like? Hey,
like Squidward.
Hey,
but they were like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey." So yeah, we're gonna do all the news and stuff first, which is good because this was such a crazy week of news.
News first, huh? Bold strategy, Cotton.
It
pays off for you.
The Human Torch was
Pepper
denied a bank loan. Jesus. All right, so let's kick it off with something kind of light and mellow. Stranger Things 3 got a new trailer.
Yeah, I just watched that. Did it come out yesterday?
It came out yesterday.
Time of record is it's currently Wednesday for us.
No, it's not. It's Thursday.
It's currently Thursday for us, the year of our Lord. Yeah. So today's Thursday. I saw Stranger Things 3 trailer yesterday, and I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it looked really... Yeah. It didn't give us a whole lot of information, but that end... Man, the CGI budget for TV shows are getting big.
Yeah, they look really good.
Successful TV shows.
Yeah, those kids real, or are they CGI?
No, the kids are fake.
Really?
Yeah, those are all adult actors.
I kind of thought so.
Yeah, mostly just voice actors and CGI work.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really great.
Pixar, man.
It's like the de-aging process in Civil War. Robert Downey Jr.
Benjamin Button.
Yeah,
Brad Pitt.
Really great stuff. Arrow and Flash both announced final seasons in the Arrowverse. So somebody said, what are you going to call the Arrowverse when Arrow is gone? I assume they're still going to call it the fucking Arrowverse because it kicked off all of that.
I would just call it canceled.
With the shots. Boys got jokes.
I would call it rewatch seasons 1 and 2.
Yeah, rewatch the early... Gosh, I'll say the first 2 seasons of The Flash, amazing.
Yeah, they
just
were
like
exactly
Arrow.
The same. So the first one was good, so the second one was good.
The Supergirl as well is not... They didn't announce the final season, but it is in danger of being canceled due to low ratings.
Probably pulling a Netflix deal. Well, not literally, but it's going to be how Netflix canned all their Marvel shows. You'll see CW's going to be on that track to can all their DC shows.
Yeah, I don't know. I did hear that Hulu is possibly making a move for the or they're in negotiations for the canceled Netflix shows. So there's a chance, and they said that there is something about that. Remember we were talking about how there's like a 2-year deal. They can't be used for 2 years until like after the cancellation.
Right. Like they have to wait.
They're getting around that, but that is not confirmed. So I don't really want to talk about it anymore because I don't know. I don't know for sure.
And we don't want to get sued.
Yeah, because all the big dogs at Marvel and DC, they're listening to this podcast.
Oh yeah, Jeff Johns actually, he called me the other day, and I was like, I don't have time for this right now. Jim
Lee tweeted at me and was like, "Hey, dude, brunch," and I was like, "No, comics legend Jim Lee, I can't. I don't have time."
Good day, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing a podcast, Jim. What do you want from me? Let's get to the big news, huh? Or some of the big news. James Gunn rehired for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh boy.
And he is keeping his spot. He's keeping a spot with Suicide Squad. So he's going to direct Suicide Squad first and then do Guardians. And a lot of it's going to intertwine towards the end. And he will be like, I don't know, is there anybody who's done both a DC and a Marvel film?
No, that's funny you said that. But I have an example that's similar.
Okay.
J.J. Abrams did Star Wars and Star Trek.
Yeah, but not that close together, I don't think. And they're not technically competing. Like it's not like DC and Marvel.
Just drive my example into the ground.
Well, no, I'm just saying that
that was cool.
Well, I'm sorry.
But no, I don't think anyone's done. There's been actors, of course, that have done DC and Marvel.
There have.
Nobody,
well, for an actor, it's kind of easy because you get screwed by one, and you say, "Okay, I'm never going to work with Marvel again," say, and then they go over to DC, or vice versa.
Oh, real quick, that's funny you said that. I just saw a video of what's his name, Zachary Levi, playing Shazam. They're at one of the premieres, I think, yesterday, and he walked out and he said, "Hey, I hope you guys. I've really wanted to play a superhero because I don't count the time that I was in that random movie and got killed by Cate Blanchett. That doesn't count." He's talking about in Ragnarok.
I was about to say he was in Ragnarok, right?
Yeah. He made like a little subtle jab at.
I honestly never noticed that that was him.
It wasn't him at first. It used to be the guy from Once Upon a Time.
Yes, I remember. Yep. I remember seeing the movie and being like, "That's a different person." And was it Ragnarok or was it the Dark? No, it was Ragnarok.
Yeah, he got killed by Hela. So,
but I remember seeing him and be like, "That's a different person," and never once did it click where I was like, "That's Chuck."
No, because he's got like this terrible. I say it's terrible, but it just looks so silly because what he looks like normally, and he's got like this brown eyebrows and stuff. I don't know. It's funny.
Well, so not only is James Gunn going to be doing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and Suicide Squad, but we got even better news about Suicide Squad. Confirmed. It is a hard reboot, and it is not a sequel.
That's cool, but the biggest news I got out of it was Idris Elba playing Deadshot.
Well, and that's part of... So they kind of masked it like Will Smith is out and Idris Elba is in. But no, it was recasting. Because I don't think they're going to keep Margot Robbie either. Margot Robbie's going to be in the Birds of Prey movie, and that looks promising because I'm a big Ewan McGregor fan.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
It's Ewan McGregor.
I'm a big fan of his.
And Chris Tucker.
And I think that it's going to be great. Yeah. But I don't think they're going to keep her for this new iteration of Suicide Squad. And I don't know if you can, because when we're talking about, and I know it sounds stupid, but you get a new director and they say it's going to be a reboot. So now we're crossing into this is a different universe, quote unquote, territory. This is not in the same quote unquote universe as the first Suicide Squad or the other Suicide Squad movie. So do you have the same actors and actresses? Are we going to get another Slipknot? And is he going to get his head blown off again? These are the questions I need to know.
Well, the cool thing about Suicide Squad is if you treat it like the books, almost very like episodic. Like Squad just goes out on missions. I could see him doing that with the movie. Like, hey, different squad, different universe, like you said.
There's speculation of instead of that monstrosity of a Killer Croc that we got that I hate more than I hate anything in this world.
Bow down to the king.
We're going to get King Shark.
Yeah.
Yes. So I love that idea. King Shark, talk about Flash. They did a great job with King Shark in that show.
Oh, yeah, him and Grodd.
Yeah. Man, there was a lot of things that those shows do right. I don't want to shit on the Arrowverse shows too much because there is a lot of stuff they do right. But as we said, they're just very soap opera-y and politically charged.
They definitely have their moments, that's for sure. I won't deny that.
So Bane in Gotham. I don't know how I feel. I'm sorry, now that I saw the Bane. So Bane got his own trailer. It was a red band trailer for Gotham, and he still looks stupid. He looks just as stupid as he did in those promo pics.
Oh, dude, you just reminded me. I haven't watched.
I haven't seen the last episode.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I think didn't it come out today though?
Last one I saw is where the chick shows up after he's impaled and he's like laying on the brick.
Oh, okay, that was 2 episodes ago.
Yeah,
yeah, because the last episode was Jeremiah going into, or Jerome, or whatever his name is, going into the vat. Of
saw
chemicals.
that. Never mind.
Okay, so you saw that.
So they took like a break and then came back.
No, that was last week.
Oh,
yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Okay, so I've only one to catch up with, but I know what he looks like. I've seen him.
Yeah, but again, they put out that red band trailer for him, and we have 2 episodes left, I believe. So, after this week, this is like episode 10, then we have 11 and 12. And I don't know, man. I just thought he looked stupid. But other than that, one thing that I thought looked great, you look like you have something on your mind. What's the matter?
No, I was going to say definitely should do an episode all about Gotham. I think once it's over.
Oh, yeah, of course. I think we said that in one of our previous episodes. We're definitely going to do...
For the people listening in, I pointed to our objective board, and I completely threw him off.
So, well, I was just gonna...
Sorry about that.
So we have a dry erase board that we have all of our future episodes written on. Like we have like 6 or 7 of them written up there now. But yes, we will add Gotham. If you didn't write Endgame in such giant letters, we will add Gotham.
It's Times New Roman though.
I used the appropriate font.
Is anything up there more important than the Endgame episode?
No.
Thank you.
I'm really excited about... Well,
don't spoil our other episodes. They're gonna be a surprise.
Is that how we're doing it? We're just all surprises.
It's a surprise.
You guys can guess. We have the movies that are coming out. We're gonna talk about. We already told them about the Spider-Man.
The last thing I need is that guy you referenced earlier calling me and going, "Hey,
hey."
I wanted to be surprised. Hi.
Okay. Regardless, Bane looks stupid, but if you guys were on the Facebook page, or I think I even may have put it on Twitter, at BatHat Official, they had a leaked image of the final Batman suit from the final episode, which is definitely... Did you get a chance to see that?
The photo that is up on our Facebook page, is that the photo you're referencing, or is there one from the episode itself?
No, that one with the green screen behind it.
Yeah, it looks terrible, but so did the one from Titans, and then you have to see it in its context.
But so here's where I'll disagree, because from what I always understood was even the Batman we get back is going to be like a year 1 Batman, right? They're not going super far into the future with this.
Right.
So in the last episode of Gotham, which this isn't a Gotham episode, so we'll keep it short, but the last episode of Gotham, he teased, I have to get out of Gotham, like Bruce. He was like, I need to get out of Gotham. I need to see the world and see. So like teasing, I'm going to go train around the world. And,
good setup for the last
really
episode.
Good setup.
He comes back.
So he's going to come back as like a year 1-esque Batman. And that was a pretty good year 1. Like, if we're just talking about he put together some stuff, somebody was like, but, even if he was year 1, he has the money and the blah, blah, blah. All right, let's pretend like Lucius Fox isn't a thing, even though he's a pretty big part of the show.
I like him in that show.
I do like him a lot in the show, but... Not in everything was Lucius Fox there to be like, I have this state-of-the-art tech, Mr. Wayne. Like, let him be year 1. I love that idea. I always have. We also got the new Endgame trailer. How did I forget about this? It's in my notes and I didn't read it.
Yeah, I wrote it so big.
I know. What the fuck is wrong with me? We got the new Endgame trailer and it gave us absolutely nothing. Nothing at all.
I love it. And then they came out and said a lot of that is just doctored footage that won't even be in the movie.
Yeah, they said it's all like,
I love
fuck you footage.
And I love it. They're not even showing anything of Thanos. I love it. Keep the allure. You already know he's in it, but...
We got just that passing image of his hand burnt to a crisp brushing the flowers like we got at the end of the last movie.
Or in Gladiator, everybody's done it since Gladiator.
But, the thing I did like was we got to see those suits the toys spoiled. So they had those toys that were leaked from China, and they had the suits, whatever they're supposed to be, space suits or whatever.
They're either space, shrink... Yeah, it's either quantum realm or space travel.
We have not seen any of the Hulk. There was no Hulk. Nope. And there was also no Bruce Banner. I think we saw like a shot of Bruce Banner, but I think the idea is that he will be Professor Hulk most of the movie. Mm-hmm. So the reason we're not seeing any glimpses of Bruce is because he's not in the movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? people are kind of shitting on Ronin or Hawkeye's
I love it.
haircut.
Love it.
I like it.
Hey, if my family got dusted, I would shave the sides of
Yeah.
my hair,
I
and
mean,
I would start
sure,
killing
he looks like
everybody.
a sexier version of Halsey, but I mean, he
does.
definitely is rocking the haircut. I don't mind it at all.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good. It's
love
it's modern. It's whatever. I'm not gonna, I could care less. But
Nuts.
yeah, I'm very interested. Somebody said that the images of Tony walking side by side with him on Earth is probably the biggest. They don't think Tony's gonna make it back, and that's the biggest fuck you image that we got.
Yeah, well, the thing that I bit into the most is I read the thing. You know how it shows him floating in space, and we all assume that's at the beginning of the movie because he's up on Titan and he's trying to get back to
Yes.
Earth. Somebody said we all assume that's the beginning of the movie. What if it's the end? After all the events have already taken place, and then he's done what he has to do, and that's it. That's the end.
There's
He's
a
up
really
there.
popular theory saying that they lose, that this is not going to end any way that we think it will, and they will fail. That this movie is going to end with failure to usher in the next phase and all the new heroes. And what is my mantra?
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Exactly.
Yep.
If everybody just no, everything can be good. Any idea can be good with the right writing, and the right directors. Any idea, any storyline, I don't care what it is, you can make it good.
Yep.
That is an idea I'm willing to explore with this movie, even though I'll be just as mad. Do you remember how mad you were walking out of the end of Infinity War?
Oh, I wasn't mad. I love when the heroes lose.
No, I was mad.
I was just stunned
Yeah,
that they had
stunned.
the guts
That's
to
a good
do
word
it.
for it.
I was like, wow, I can't believe. And, I mean, of course, when you walk out, you're like, I know they're coming back. But what if that's the thing? Like you said, what if they don't all actually come back?
Right. I
That'd
was
be great.
silent for like a solid hour after Infinity War, just because like my head was trying to wrap around everything.
I couldn't stop crying after Peter died, so I don't remember how the movie ended. I haven't seen it to this day.
Well, now that I've seen it as many times as I have, like you just are so ready for the next movie, and your own brain is formulating things, and then you get all these ideas from the internet, and it's like, oh man.
That's half the fun, though, because
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's the fun. So I think it's fun now because they've done such an amazing job at keeping things hidden that all we can do is speculate. This has been the best game of speculation out of any movie in the last 10, 15 years. And the reason for that is because they haven't leaked stuff. And the things that have been leaked almost seem calculated. It almost seems like, wow, this is giving me nothing, even though it's a leak. But do you remember back in the day, the early Marvel movies, when things would get leaked immediately, and you went into some of these movies not really even that like jazzed or expecting much.
Yeah, because you already saw like an image of something from the third act.
Yes.
So it's not a surprise.
Yeah, we already knew what was coming. But this is really keeping us on our toes.
Well, it's the Russos, right? The Russo
Yes.
brothers. They should direct everything Marvel does.
Yes.
That's just me. But now it's starting to make sense because we all know that they filmed what we thought was Infinity War 1 and 2 initially, but it
Right.
changed to Infinity War then Endgame
Right.
at the same time. And look
Right.
at all the perks that, just like you said, they did it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were going to get leaks, time has come and gone.
Oh, yeah.
So here we are a year later, and they're and like all the actors
Yeah.
and all them, they're like, oh, that's been done.
And
a
sure,
long
they
time.
had reshoots and they had all that good stuff. We got set photos and we got stuff about them. But again, what have we gotten? We got the suits that we just now saw in the trailer.
Yep.
We got those weird things on their wrists or on their palms that people think are time travel device, which other people think, judging by, and this is going to sound stupid, but judging by some scenes from the new trailer, those things on the palms that everyone thinks are time travel devices are just lamps. They're just flashlights.
Probably.
And they're just going into, there's going to be a scene in the movie where they need these fucking flashlights on their palms.
Especially if Tony made them. He's probably, oh, what's the best spot for a spotlight?
Yeah, right. I'm excited, man. I'm so excited.
It's and the Russos, if they've proved anything, is that they're not afraid to. I mean, after Infinity War, man, I don't know what we're walking into. I really don't, and I'm excited.
Right.
And it's the end of an era. We all grew up going through all these movies,
Yes.
so it's kind of, not to sound overly nerdy or anything, but like it's a big deal. It's cool.
I think the prospect of having storylines with the new Avengers and which I think are like, what was the new? Was the new Avengers the one that was descendants of the original event. It was like 2 generations later and stuff. I mean, we've already set up a couple of their like kids and stuff to maybe be
Yeah, there's all
superheroes
kinds
in
of
the
side
future.
characters that could become primary players.
Even in the trailer, we saw Hawkeye was like training his daughter, like teaching her how to, not training, but like teaching her how to use a bow and arrow.
$20 says that's the exact scene she gets dusted.
Oh yeah, that
sure.
that felt very much like Stephen King's Pet Cemetery.
He's gonna be teaching her to shoot, and
Yeah.
she's gonna be doing really well.
They're
Like
out
hit a bullseye, and then
Yeah.
go,
They're out at the picnic, and then the truck comes by. Yeah,
and then
That's,
he's gonna shave his head.
yeah. So I'm really excited for that. There's some Flash news that I think I'm even as excited, because folks at home, I am but a simple DC fanboy for sure. I really am. I've always been DC over Marvel, and it's not like by a whole lot, because I love a lot of what Marvel does. I was telling Matt, we were talking about my comic book pull, like 80% of it is Marvel, just because of the sheer volume of books they have out and like the good writing that's going on. But I'm a DC person. I really want the DCEU to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
I really am excited. So what makes me excited is this new news with the Flash movie. Ezra Miller and Grant Morrison, one of the greatest Batman and DC comic book writers of all time, have teamed up to take control and rewrite this movie. And they gave the studios, they said, we want this to be our image, because you guys, they're basically saying you guys haven't done well, and we're actually fans, and Grant Morrison is a legend, and we want to write this movie right. And we don't think that the script we have is going to be a good movie. So they gave them like an ultimatum. Like they have like, I think, a week to get this script, which apparently it's already done. And,
They probably made their presentation and be like, all right, you guys in? They're like, yeah, you have a week. And they're like, great, we're already done.
Well, so the thing is, and they're taking their time to really make sure they perfect it, but they want it. So Ezra Miller wants it in a darker tone, which, even though people are saying the Flash isn't dark and blah, blah, blah. First of all, you don't read comic books. Second of all, I'll be that nerd. I'll be that nerd to say you don't know Barry Allen as well as you think.
You don't even know Barry.
Because
you don't know Barry.
But that's the thing, is that the Flash we got in the Justice League movie, that was Wally West. That was very jokey and kind of, he was young and doesn't know what he's going on. That was not Barry Allen to me. So I like the idea of a slightly darker tone. We don't need to go as dark as Batman v Superman.
I was going to say that. I love that.
Yes, we don't need to go as dark as Batman v Superman, but we do. I'm okay with it being a little more high stakes than just a fun movie. Aquaman did a really good job of bringing the light tones.
Yeah, that was
I
great.
think Aquaman was a really good example of balance.
I've watched it 3 times in the past 2 weeks, because
Really?
it's just, you watch it 1 second and it's like you're watching Tron,
Yeah.
and then another second you're watching just
Yeah.
almost like, not, I hate to say it, but like any other Marvel movie. It's just easy watch.
I plan on
great.
watching it either. I don't remember when we were talking about. Me and Kit were talking about watching it because it's such a good movie.
Yeah, it's
and we
great.
enjoyed
I
it
love
so much. And I'm very excited. No, you're not, but I'm very excited for Shazam, and I have high hopes for it. And it will have that lighter tone. So, what do we need? A third movie that's all light and laughy and jokes?
Well, my prediction is that Shazam's going to kill, because if you go back and think about it, sure, everybody, half and half on BVS, half and half on Justice League.
Right.
Man of Steel was great. That's my opinion. I don't care what anybody says. Man of Steel was great.
100%
Wonder Woman was great.
Yes.
Aquaman
Yes.
was great. So
Their
I fully
solo
expect
movies so far
they're
have
killing
been
the solo
fantastic.
movies. Everybody's so harping on BVS and Justice League. They're not. They're forgetting that their solo movies are so good.
And I will tell you that it was just the domino effect of the fact that we had BVS, and then everybody, I think, had huge hopes for Suicide Squad. We keep forgetting about Suicide Squad. People forget about it, but
I just did.
Yeah, we have high hopes we had high hopes for Suicide Squad, and it didn't perform. And then we're like, all right, but we got Justice League coming out, and it didn't perform.
Yeah.
So, and you know how much I loved actually all 3 of them. I just watched Suicide Squad again the other day.
I watch it all the time.
I enjoy it so much, but it's not a good movie.
No,
you know what I
bad.
mean?
Like the whole Enchantress thing should have just took it. It's like the director even said that's where he messed up. He should have just let the Joker be the villain.
Yeah.
But anywho,
so that I'm excited for the idea. That just shows me that Ezra Miller is truly a fan, and he wants the character. He gets one shot at this, in a DCEU that's crumbling around him. He has one shot to make his mark and really help lift it back up into the light. I understand he wants to make it good.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he brought a freaking legend. He brought Grant Morrison, who has Grant Morrison brought us Damian Wayne into Batman. He introduced us to a lot of those really cool aspects pre-New 52. So I love that idea. I think it's great, and I wish him all the best, and I really hope that they do good.
See, and Aquaman and hopefully Shazam have done their part. Like, they're leading the way. They're like, look, Aquaman, people like it, if not love it.
Right.
If Shazam has the same thing, even better. So I think DC is going to turn it around in the film.
Speaking of Aquaman, it's been interesting as of late, how many people are now saying that they didn't like Aquaman.
Oh,
and
I
like
thought
a lot
nobody
of
liked Aquaman.
Like one of my favorite podcasts, The Weekly Planet, I think I've told you guys about it, is they were talking about it and saying that, like, oh, well, we enjoyed it, but it's not a good movie. I'm like, yes, it is. It's a great movie.
Oh, you mean didn't enjoy the film? I thought you meant like the character. Didn't like Aquaman the character.
No, they didn't like. Well, they didn't like the. Maybe they didn't like the character.
Well, the film's outrageous. I'll be the first to say that. It's like underwater Avatar.
Yeah, but it's good.
But it's fun. Like, just watch it. Just let it happen. Don't go in there with all these...
And again, I think it didn't stray as much as I thought it was going to. Mm-hmm. It kept on track pretty much.
Yep.
It didn't give me a lot of things to be like, what the fuck about? And it was just a lot of fun. And I'll say this now. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Anybody in this day and age who complains about CGI and says, oh, that's too much CGI, you don't deserve to go watch a fucking superhero movie. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah. This is a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Of course there's going to be CGI.
Those are the reviews and comments you don't need to listen to because, I mean, what do you expect? 80% of the film is going to be CGI.
Are you going to go see Godzilla? Are you going to go see King Kong and say, oh, too much CGI
for
my
Godzilla
taste?
Looked real.
Yeah.
Hey, was that Godzilla real?
That Godzilla looked a little fake to me. Yeah.
That Mothra,
he was
I don't
fake.
know, man. His wingspan just does not look accurate.
Seriously, when you watch Stranger Things, you're like, that Demogorgon, I don't know.
I was about to call it a Demogorgon-bobulus.
I don't think that was a real Demogorgon. Fuck you. You're like, I just hate people like that. I'm sorry. Yeah. And the last bit of news I have is also pretty exciting, just from the comic book nerd in me. Frank Miller, who I know you know from The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, we've met.
Wait.
In print.
Yeah, Frank Miller from The Dark Knight Returns. All right, I'm embarrassed to say this as big of a nerd as I am. Frank Miller and Alan Moore, I constantly keep switching their books. Like, I keep saying that the Killing Joke was written by Frank. It's not. It's Alan Moore.
Well, I mean, those two...
They're very synonymous with each other, right?
Yeah, it's easy when we're both doing the same hand.
Yeah, we're both talking with our Italian hands. But the...
Hey!
Are you Italian?
Do I look Italian? Where's the Italian?
No, you look kind of fucking Aryan to me, but...
Aryan?
Yeah.
There is a spider on your wall.
Fuck. Where?
It's on the corner of this...
Oh.
Ah!
Oh, that's just
I'm just kidding. Nothing happened.
Little eight-legged boy. But the... Yeah, so Frank Miller from The Dark Knight Returns and John Romita Jr., who's a phenomenal comic book artist, are teaming up to do Superman Year One, starting in June.
Again? How many year ones are there?
Yeah, but we're also... So we're getting this month, or maybe the start of next month, the Flash Year One. I was telling you about that. And so they're kind of continuing on this track. And I got to tell you, most of them have been great. Like Batgirl Year One, Robin Year One, a lot of them have been great. Obviously kicked off by Frank Miller doing Batman Year One back when he did it.
Which that book was very good.
Very good. It was a 4-issue run, and it was very good. The animated movie that they did for DC Animated Universe was great.
One of my least favorite.
You know what's funny about that, though? Bryan Cranston of Breaking Bad fame and Malcolm in the Middle, he did the voice of Detective Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know who did the voice of Batman?
I don't remember. No.
It was...
was it Malcolm?
No, it was...
Jesse Pinkman.
No.
Damn.
It was the guy who plays Gordon in Gotham.
What's
his fucking name?
Marina Baccarin's husband.
Yeah.
Ben McKenzie.
Yes, McKenzie. Thank you.
I like that dude.
Ben
He's
McKenzie.
cool.
So Ben McKenzie went from voicing young Batman to then playing Detective
Middle-aged
Gordon. And I got to tell you, as much as that movie and Bryan Cranston was great as Gordon, Ben McKenzie did not sound right as Batman. He sounded almost as bad as I think Michael C. Hall sounded as Batman.
I just remember I did not like that movie. Like Year One. I did not like it at all. Yeah.
It's very... So I had somebody tell me we were talking about it, and I loved it. But it's very noir and very slow and very... it's just mostly... dialogue, right?
Which is not bad. It's just
But I
wasn't
think
very well.
it's harder to
done.
grip onto than like an action movie. You know what I mean?
True that.
But I love it. And I might have loved it just because I love the book so much. But all right, so that's really all I got for news for you guys. But we wanted to announce something big with the show. Is we are going to start a monthly series. So right now we have the Arkhamverse going. That's going to run out, you know. What we want something that's going to continue, and it's going to be a monthly series that's going to be our comic book reading club. So the Bat in the Hat does comics. Hashtag. So the idea is we're going to pick whatever. I don't know. We're going to talk about it. We already have the first one picked out, though.
Ooh, we should take turns.
Take turns?
Yeah, picking.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
I think we still need to agree on them, but yeah.
No.
No? Fuck it. We're going to do this. You know what? On the next comic book reading club, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Issues
Volume 3.
Yeah, Volume 3. Because that's when it gets good. No, so the first one we agreed on is it's an Elseworld tale. It's called Batman White Knight. It's DC Black Label's very first book that they had put out, and it's a very easily accessible. It's relatively new. It's like a year old.
Yeah, I literally just bought it when we sat down to track this.
Yeah.
So I hope it's good,
On
or I will
Amazon.
blame you.
Yeah, it's really great, and it's an Elseworld tale, and basically it's an Elseworld tale of what if the Joker went sane. So Batman's getting a little more into his aggressiveness. He's getting a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? He's hurting people and destroying things more than Batman really stands for.
He went from like a 6 to a 8.5.
Yeah. He went really hard. So, and then he goes and does something, and the Joker becomes sane. So it's a whole story about what if the roles were kind of reversed. I love it. I read it. I was gripped to the book the entire time. Didn't put it down, and it's not even that relatively long. So it's an easy one for you guys if you want to pick it up, or you can get it on Comixology or Amazon Kindle or any of that stuff, and read it. And then we're going to talk about it in a few weeks. This episode, I think we're going to do in roughly 3 weeks. So give you time, and we'll remind you guys every episode about it, just letting you know that it's coming up. But I think it's going to be a really cool thing. We're going to pick trades, and then eventually we're going to dive into like full-on storylines and just kind of go, because, at the end of the day, we are a comic book podcast, and we don't want to stray too far from the source material.
Well, I want to actually do basics of cooking with a pressure cooker next week. So
That could be really cool.
yeah, no, it's going to be really cool.
Can we call that Binging with Babish fella and see if he wants to...
Just shut up.
Shut
up. But anyway, but like what you mentioned, I love this idea with the reading club. We're trying to encourage more interaction as well. So if you're listening, just send us stuff, questions, ideas. We love suggestions. I get the best suggestions and source material from people who, text me, email me, message me about the show. I love it. So
Well, and I think a big part for me is that I also, so not only do we want to encourage engagement from you guys, because we like hearing from people. We like, tell us what your favorite part of the book is. Tell us what you absolutely hate. If you hate the book, tell us you hate it. We'll talk about it on the podcast. But not only that stuff is that I genuinely, you guys hear me shout out Mythical Mountain almost every time we do the show, and there's a reason for that.
San Jose.
What's that?
They're off San Jose.
Oh, San Jose and Jacksonville, Florida. I really want to encourage not only maybe a group of people to venture back to the comics world, but to support local business. That's all it really comes down to, is that there are really great businesses and a really great industry in the comic book industry. And there are people who, unfortunately, in this age of just
don't
big
have
budget
to leave
movies,
my house to get anything kind of stuff.
well, yeah, but like big budget movies and video games and high stimulating kind of content like that.
Okay, I got you.
YouTube channels and stuff. People have put down comic books, and it's not as drastic as some reports make it out to be. It really isn't. But I think that I don't want to know a future where they really do stop making books and they go on to just doing TV shows and movies and video games and YouTube stuff. I don't want that. So I would really like to encourage people to read along, And again, it's just as fast. Get it on Kindle. Get it on Comixology. Get it on any of those things.
Just try it on, see how it fits, guys.
Yeah, dip your toes.
It's your world.
Yeah,
You can be whatever you want.
Maybe
Actually, that gets me every time where you're like, oh, I'm just gonna read a few pages.
Yeah,
and then I'm gonna go to bed, or I'm gonna go do this, and the next thing you know, you've read 5 different books.
I did that with Mr. Miracle, where I was like, I'm just gonna read like the first book because it's a trade, but I was like, I'm just gonna read what the first issue was, and then I'll put it down. And they're clearly divided, but I didn't put it down. I was like,
I hate that because you get to the divider, like the next cover, and you're like, yeah, I'm not like, stopping yet. But maybe just a couple more pages.
But yeah, so Batman White Knight, we're gonna post it all over the social medias, and we're gonna get into it. But it's a really great book, and I encourage you guys to pick it up or download it or do whatever.
So
and,
Batman White Knight by Sean Murphy?
Yes, by Sean Murphy, art by
Matt Hollingsworth.
Yep.
Yeah. So mine's coming in the mail tomorrow, guys. If you want to read along, let's discuss.
Absolutely. And please, feel free at Bat Hat Official on Twitter or the Bat in the Hat podcast on Facebook. Let us know, again, what you like. Also, let us know what books or storylines or whatever you would like to read in the future. Because I can't lie, as DC fanboys, we're mostly going to be reading DC stuff. But
it's all DC.
Yeah, if we got, if there's a really good Marvel storyline, which there are many. Tons. Yeah. If there's a really good Marvel storyline and me and Matt like it, let's, we'll do it. Let's talk about it.
Hit us with your suggestions. I love when people are like, hey, this story rocks. And then it's like a movie. You're like, okay, whatever. I guess I'll check it out, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then it really does rock. And you're like, oh, wow, I should have listened a long time ago.
Well, and before you were a co-host on this show, I did the Cosmic Ghost Rider and Thanos Win storylines. I talked about that a little bit on one of the episodes. And genuinely, they're good books. They're really great storylines. And that's the kind of Marvel shit that I can get in on. If y'all want to do Donny Cates' Venom, if y'all want to do anything including Carnage or Venom, I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yep.
Follow it every single month.
Yeah, full disclosure, anything Spider-Man related, I'm typically down. But yeah, Venom or Carnage, I'm in.
So let's go ahead and dive into Captain Marvel. So first and foremost, what did you think?
I was gonna say, do you want to rate first and then discuss?
Yeah, let's do some ratings.
Okay. Well, I'll start since you asked. I loved it. I thought it was great. Hear all that stuff before going to see it about this and that and mixed reviews and blah blah blah. I thought it was awesome. Just your run of the mill good Marvel movie.
Where would you? So I want to know a 1 to 10, but I also want to know
the ranking.
In the top couple of movies or the bottom couple of movies, where would you put it?
See, I always do that same thing when I go see them. I try to think, and now there's so many movies now.
Yeah.
You can't you have to narrow it down to your top 10 at most.
The bottom movies that I would say would be definitely, and not that they're necessarily bad movies. I don't think we've had a really bad movie in the bunch, but the worst movie would be for me Thor: The Dark World.
Yep.
Followed by Ant-Man 2.
I just saw that for the first time a few days ago.
Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man.
What's wrong with
Iron Man 3.
Terrible. I'm so glad you said that. So many people are like, it's amazing. I'm like, it's the worst.
Some people hate Iron Man 2, which I love.
It's fine. For me, it's just a time
just
killer.
Fine.
Yeah,
I love it.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't good.
To me, it's a really good movie, and it may just be because I love Sam Rockwell, or it could be because I love the Stark Expo scenes. But to me, it's a really good movie. But some people hate it.
Bottom for me is definitely Thor 1 and 2. Ragnarok was awesome.
You can't put Thor 1 in there. Just because he has the fucking golden eyebrows.
Hey, he looks so silly if you go back now. But
terrible.
A lot of those origin movies, which this is a good point. This leads into Captain Marvel. A lot of the origin movies didn't really do much for me. Didn't care for Thor or the sequel. Captain America is different because I don't think it's that great of a movie, but it holds more importance to me.
I like the
first
Avenger.
overall scale of this phase of the Marvel movies.
I'm not in love with the first Avenger.
Nah.
I am in love with the first Iron Man.
That's probably my number one.
Yeah.
And
you think that's your number one out of all the movies?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah. And there's many reasons. It kicked off the whole MCU, but it's just so good. It's just very straightforward. And, I mean, Robert Downey Jr., whoever decided that casting in that room, I hope they got a huge raise. But yeah, so Captain Marvel, If I'm being honest, she's definitely in my top 10. I really enjoyed the movie.
Right.
I like Brie Larson. I liked her before
Me
this
too.
movie.
She's very likable.
She is. She's beautiful. You know, I think she's a great actress. I always think of her in 21 Jump Street.
I was just about to say, I always think of her in 21 Jump Street. I was in love with her in 21 Jump Street because she was just the most likable chick in the world. And yeah, I love it, but it's a good movie.
That's
how
I felt about her in this movie.
Yeah.
Like by about halfway through, I really liked Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like her character. I like her as Carol Danvers. I'm in.
So, but scale of 1 to 10, what do you think?
7.
That's a really good place for it.
7.
I was gonna say 7, 7.5. So, the I think for me, my favorite. So, my movies don't usually go in the rank of like favorites because I think it's hard now with all these movies to pick a favorite. But I just go in like, to me, Infinity War is the best movie that has been made so far. Disagree with me, fight with me, whatever. But Infinity War is just, from a content standpoint, the best movie that Marvel's put out to date.
Easily has the best villain.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Which some people would argue Killmonger. I'm not one of those people. I actually like Killmonger. I think, and we've talked about Black Panther, I didn't love Black Panther because they didn't service T'Challa as much as they should have.
I mean, he was dope in Civil War.
Yes.
Like, he was he was
so T'Challa in Civil War.
God, he was so cool in Civil War. And I'm not saying he wasn't cool in Black Panther. It just...
He was a little soft, or he was lacking a little substance in that movie. The rest of it was great, however. And he was
cool. I really liked
I like Killmonger. I like everything else. But as far as Captain Marvel goes, I think that I would have to rate it, like I said, like a 7, maybe 7.5. And I would put it down there right in the medium, movies. I think we have some really great movies, some not so great, and then right there in the midsection. But I by no means had any reason not to like it. And let's talk about those reasons. So what I really want to get into with this show is, you guys have all heard why people may not like this movie, and I'd like to argue. And I would like to say why I think that's horse shit and why it's actually a really solid movie. Matt, what do you think?
I'll start. So, like you said, everybody's heard it. So before the movie, there was this whole, like, it's just going to be one big thing for feminism kind of stuff.
Yeah, which feminist-driven movie.
Which, again...
couldn't be farther from
the truth. It doesn't... I'm not against that, but it turned into this whole... I don't go see these movies, like, for just one... Like, let's preach this one thing on you. And I don't care if it's feminism, conservatism, liberalism, and I'm not getting political. I'm just making an example.
Well, and you and me have talked about, and I think we've said it on the show, we go to these movies, we read these comic books, we play these games to escape from these things. And that's why we don't mess with the Arrowverse stuff as much, because of how politically driven they've gotten. And it's not that we are not politically conscious people. I like to think that outside of this podcast, I'm a very politically conscious, and I know, I follow along with everything going on. I don't want to talk about it here, and I don't want to see it in my movies.
Right.
And there's a difference between subtlety and
forced
flagrant
opinion.
Yes, forced activism.
Yeah.
False activism. And I think, just to your point, Captain Marvel did it very subtle and very well, and I didn't feel like...
I didn't get it at all. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I went in there and I was like, what am I about to see? Am I gonna feel bad for being in here because I'm a guy? Like, and I say that jokingly, but that couldn't have been farther from the truth. Like, I didn't get that vibe. Like, Carol Danvers just kicked ass in that movie. She was just a kick-ass, as my dental hygienist would say, strong female lead. Like, she was just awesome.
The reason I would say they were subtle about it is because there were a couple of little hints of clear misogyny directed towards her that it didn't feel like she had to overcome. It just felt like it was... They did it in a really well way of this is what women in general do have to deal with a lot. One being, like, the biker in the Terminator suit.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that was just
like, give me a smile, darling. And that's so creepy. And I had to ask my sister immediately. I was like, "Is that something that really happened?" And she's like, "All the time. It really
Yeah,
is."
I
Like,
hear that happens. I guess it's different, like coming from you and I, for just not being walking
Oh, yeah.
pieces of shit.
yeah,
And yes, I will say I do not think I'm a shitty person. Sorry, but
I've never even had that urge.
I've never said that to a
Yeah.
woman. I've never wanted to. So yeah, I was like, wow, is that
Not
I
to,
guess
like,
that really
sit on
does-
the
I'm not
podcast.
like ignorant to things.
no,
but
right.
It's like, wow, you really say that? Like,
But not to like sit on the podcast and preach about how we're the greatest guys in the world. But like,
oh, I am the shit.
yeah, but honestly, I've never even had that impulse to
No.
pass by a woman and be like show me a smile, darling.
Yeah,
like
no.
it's so creepy. And then that one, which I don't know, I wasn't sure if I should feel bad for laughing, but I did laugh, and I'm sure they intended a laugh in the theater. But
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
the flashbacks through her memory, and the guy was like, "They'll never let you fly. You know why they call it a cockpit, don't
Yeah.
you?"
Oh,
And I chuckled.
was
So you know, I felt that those little things were subtle. I will say that some of the problems that I had with not the movie, but with other people's reviews of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start from towards the beginning. They were like, they kind of threw us into the whole, she's with this team, and we got the introduction to the team, but no real backstory on the team. I don't need it. I don't care. I don't want the backstory
I
on
know
the
that
team.
one guy was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I've seen him. They're all Kree. I know who
They're all
Kree
Kree,
are.
right.
Like, they just kind of went into it. It was.
I don't
pretty
understand why we need to. The people that I've been listening to about like what they didn't like about this movie being an origin film is they all seem to agree that it should have been way more formulaic than it was. You know, why didn't it follow this formula? Why didn't they do this? Writing has to have this. They have to have a want and a need. It has to drive them. Okay, yes, I guess, but no also, because they're like, she didn't have a want. She wasn't searching for her memories. I was like, she did have a want. She had a want to get the fucking Kree off of Earth, because she knew that the Kree, she was like, all right, and I wanted to get in contact with, and then she stumbled into her origin, which is cool in my opinion.
So I'm going to jump in right here because I wanted to say this point while you were talking about the last stuff, but it makes sense here too. That's why I liked her so much. And I thought about it afterwards, because like whether she was hit with the, kind of like you said, like the subtle misogynistic characters or whatever happened, I'm just going to be honest. She was just like, I don't give a shit. And she just kind of went on with her day. Like, she was like, I'm just here to do what I got to do.
Right.
And I thought that was so cool. Like, that's why I thought she was so badass. Like, she was just like, all right, look, I'm here to fight, or I'm here to do this.
I very much liked that aspect of her, that she was the entire time. That scene where she was sitting in the bar with Nick Fury, and they were kind of like, how do I know you're not a Skrull? Well, how do I know you're not a Skrull? That was a very cool scene. And it kind of gave me that glimpse of, oh, she's not afraid of any, like, she's not sitting in front of Nick Fury.
She's
like,
so cool. Like, she's that person you meet at a party that just shows up that you've never met, and then they just jump in, and you're like, I love this person.
Yeah.
They're so funny.
So it was very cool. She was very mission oriented the whole time, which I liked. She's a soldier, and she knows they didn't play it off as she's new and like she's still figuring things out. No, they played it off as she knows what she's doing. The only reason they gave us that Marvel training set, or he wasn't Marvel. What was he? Yon-Rogg. What's his name? Jude Law. Mm-hmm. Jude Law. The only reason they gave us that Yon-Rogg like training session of once you can knock me down without those, then you'll be ready, was just to later show us that they've been inhibiting her the whole time. So we don't have this character who's like a baby deer lost in the wilderness. We have this person who's like Rambo, who hits Earth and is like, I don't know what's going on, but I need to fucking get out of here. See, and she takes it by the horns, and I like that.
That was the other thing I love too, is when the movie started and she was already shooting energy out of her hands. I was like, yes, we're not starting from the beginning. Like the very, very, very beginning. They'll show us stuff from the beginning, but I loved it. She already knew how to do that. And like, it was just like, all right, let's roll. She's going to get stronger as it goes.
Yeah, so I got a little nervous before they fleshed it out when I saw that little chip in like her neck or towards the back of her head.
We all knew she was going to be getting held back.
Well, I didn't. I was like, so I didn't know how they were going to go about it, because again, in the comic books, which, let me tell you how much comic book bias has been coming towards this movie. Get the fuck over it. Stop. If you cannot go in as a comic book fan, as somebody who reads these books, you cannot go into the movies expecting it to be the comic books.
No.
They have to change things. They have to adapt things. And getting mad that Marvel was not a man who taught or who gave the powers to... So in the comic books, Marvel was the original Captain Marvel.
It would have been Jude Law in the film if they went with that same...
Well, Jan Rog
setup.
was an actual character, I believe.
I'm just saying, do you agree? Like,
Yeah. So it would have been that mentor kind of character who then later passes the powers on to Carol Danvers. And then Marvel is big in the comics because he died and stayed dead. Like, he actually died and stayed dead. Mm-hmm. And he died of cancer. Oh. And that was a really big story arc in Marvel, was a character dying not of all the things they fought and all the things that they've come up against. And it was cancer that took him down. So he died of cancer. The only time Marvel came back in the comics was it wasn't really Marvel. It was a Skrull that had his consciousness uploaded into the Skrull. I don't know how that works. I didn't actually read
Probably a USB port.
Yeah, a USB port in the back of the Skrull's neck. Yeah. But so people were complaining about that whole Marvel being a woman and being, it was good. It was, at least we got Marvel. Would you really have just been happier?
I have a great point to add to this.
Go for it.
I feel like I'm on a roll with good information right now.
Yeah.
But right after the movie came out, saw it that Thursday night. And it's funny you brought this up because I love reading people's reactions. It's fun. It's what I do. But somebody said that to me and they were like, well, Marvel in the comics, if they would have went to that, it would have been, like Jude Law and it was a man and they did this whole gender swap. And I said, let me just present 2 points to you real quick. Just hear me out.
Right.
And think of it like this. Marvel and Disney know that a large portion of their audience does not read the comic books. They don't read the source material. They're not chomping at every detail. So number one, they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yes.
And here's the second and most important thing, which I think a lot of these people, myself included, I won't say I've never bitched about something in a movie, but the second part, and probably most importantly, is I genuinely feel like they try to sometimes give you a surprise. Like, they don't want you to know everything going into the film. They want you to enjoy the film. They want to try to genuinely make a story that you didn't already know, kind of thing. And then people just get so worked up over it.
So that's a really good point. So one thing that I've always said is that people like you and me who read comic books, we're not as wide in numbers as back in the 70s or back when there wasn't as much content being thrown at us that we can do other things besides read comic books. We read comic books because we like it, but most of the people who go see these movies don't do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think my very first episode of The Bat in the Hat was called Superhero Fans versus Comic Book Fans, and it is the difference between people who love these characters and love everything about them, but they only are exposed to them through the media, through movies and TV shows and video games, which is, there's a lot, and people who actually read the comics. And there's nothing wrong with being either of those things. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Absolutely nothing wrong. I'm not going to judge you because you don't read comics. I would encourage people to.
You know how many people it has led to comics?
Right.
Like, I mean, these are great characters and great stories, and a lot of people are like, I want to know more.
Well, and
awesome.
My big point is that if all of us were just comic fans who wanted to go see the movies and wanted the exact same storylines we've already read, which I can't lie, I do want that.
Oh, a lot of them are so good. You want it like verbatim.
Yes. Do I want a live action Dark Knight Returns? You bet your ass I do. You know what I mean?
Got it already.
Huh?
BVS.
No, a real. I mean a real one. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I would want that verbatim. The Killing Joke. That's what's great about the DC animated movies.
Oh,
they will adapt those storylines into an animated film and do them verbatim, and that's great. Other than the first 30 minutes of The Killing Joke, whatever that was.
Well, the only thing they'll do with those is, and The Killing Joke's not one of them, but like the Judas Contract,
right?
Which I own the Judas Contract.
Yeah.
I love it. Great story.
The books or the?
I own the books.
Okay.
I love it. I told you I'm a big Deathstroke bumpkin.
Yeah.
So.
You should have. I'm sorry, not to interrupt. You should have been at the shop. They had the first appearance of Deathstroke at Mythical Mountain a couple weeks ago.
Interesting.
Yeah.
More on that later. But The only thing they'll really do with those movies is sometimes they'll adapt the story to fit into that universe they've built, which is cool because I've grown to like it. Like the one that started like with Son of Batman and Batman versus Robin, you know that they're all like kind of in that same world.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just remold the story. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
not all of them are verbatim, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but
like
I
the
definitely
Judas Contract wasn't, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
but
it couldn't be because there was a part of that story that was a little touchy feely because it was written a little back in the day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Judas Contract was written a while ago. So when you have some of those really old storylines, but then you have storylines that are Elseworld titles and stuff like The Killing Joke that can hold up in any era, and they do them verbatim, and that's what's great about those. But we can't get those for the movies, and I don't want those for the movies. I want original storylines. What I am kind of annoyed at is that they take these storylines and then they butcher them rather than just writing a new storyline. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they make a bad version of a good story instead of making a bad original story.
They'll take like these established really great storylines and then they'll be like, we'll just use this as an outline. And I don't think I like that much, but I'm also not going to complain because we've gotten Infinity War and those movies out of them. So whatever. But, you know, I think Captain Marvel, all the changes they made are absolutely fine. There's nothing that I hated. And I love that we got that at the end, that she had been inhibited by the Kree chip or whatever was in her fucking neck. And boom, she became Captain Badass.
Yeah, she went full Super Saiyan, dude. That third act the third act of that
exactly
film
what I thought.
Just like kicked into overdrive when she really was going off. I was like, damn, dude, Thanos, you about to get effed up.
Hey, by the way, I haven't said my weekly hi to Matt's mom. Matt's mom, hello. Your son has not sworn. I don't think. Have you sworn?
I dropped a couple.
Did you?
Shit bombs earlier.
Well, that's a third one now, so there you
3
go.
shit bombs.
Sorry.
Damn it. That's
Sorry,
4.
Matt's mom. He's almost out of his weekly allowance of swear words.
Sorry.
But the, you know, I'm okay with the changes that they made. And I think that there's just nothing wrong with it. It was a compelling story because I was compelled the entire way through. There was not a moment of this movie where I wasn't kind of interested in what's going on. No lulls, no anything. So,
this was a movie when I left, I was like, if you're bitching about it, I probably don't want to hang out with you like in a social setting because you're probably not a fun person.
Well, and because honestly, I think a lot of the people who hated this movie went into the movie already going to hate it. They went in with a predisposition that they were going to hate this movie. They said, oh, I don't like the feminist stuff, so I'm probably not going to like this movie, but I'm going to see it because it's a Marvel movie. Or, you know, I don't really...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, or like, I don't like this character that much, but it's a Marvel movie, so I'm going to see it because I got to see it before Endgame. Yep. So people went into this movie already predisposed to hate this movie. And fuck you. That's all I'm saying is that's not a way to do it. I went in just like blind.
You're just being a dick at this point. What I was alluding to earlier is that's what I thought I was going to be. I was like, I have to go in there and watch 2 hours of I have to feel bad for being a dude.
Right.
And like like we were talking about, I don't treat women any differently and I respect them and all that, but I'm going to go in here and this is going to be like some overly feminist thing. And was I just freaking blown away with how good the movie was and how much bullshit that was? Like whoever said that. Now I did hear that a lot of that was cut out, which very well could have been.
Yeah, it's possible.
But I don't care. The movie I saw, I loved it.
We got a final product.
I loved it.
That's all that matters.
I thought it was great.
I will say that I was not excited for the movie, and it wasn't that I
wasn't either.
It wasn't that I was not excited, like I was ready to not like it. I was just neutral. I was like, all right, this is not a character I followed all that much. I didn't read Civil War 2, like we talked about, and apparently she was a big part of that.
She was, yeah.
And cool. This is not a character I was mad exposed to my whole life, so I was indifferent. I was excited because it was another Marvel movie.
I think it had that Endgame shadow, to be honest. Like, I think we're just so ready that I was like, man, that's going to do a disservice to this movie because nobody's going to care.
But I'll tell you that I left the theater a lot more pumped than when I walked in.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I will say, so let's talk about some of the things people really didn't like. The Skrulls, right? So we get big twist spoiler about this movie, which this whole episode has been.
Yeah, I was going to say we're allowed to spoil things.
Can I say spoiler alert this far into the episode? But I'll put spoilers in the title when I post it.
Everybody dies.
Yeah, the whole. I don't know if you guys know this, but Thanos snaps a finger and half the universe dies.
How hilarious would that have been if he snapped his finger and he died?
Do you think that can happen?
No, because I feel like whoever's wielding the
Yeah, do you
gauntlet,
think the
like he
gauntlet
says,
protects you?
unbiased, except for him, of course.
Yeah.
Now, it's not like when Harvey Dent said, my turn, and put the gun up. No, I'm pretty sure whoever's wielding the gauntlet is not included.
You know how many people I've had, by the way, since we did that episode who were like, I thought you said you hated those movies. You were sucking those movies' dick the entire time you guys were talking about The
They're
Dark
good,
Knight.
dude.
And I was
They're
like,
good.
yeah, they're great. I
They're
just
good.
hated Batman. I hated Christian Bale.
No,
Like
you
that.
don't.
That was my point of the episode.
The movies are good.
But
Christopher Nolan is what made those so good.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan's great. But so the Skrulls. So people hated the Skrulls because, big twist, spoiler at the end, we find out that they're a group of refugees and the Kree are the assholes.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that. I do know that the Kree in comic book history are not good people.
Mm-hmm.
They are just like any other society of people where you have good ones and you have bad ones. And Ronan is a Kree, and a lot of those awful pieces of shit are Kree, and a lot of the Kree are just bad people. So...
Yep. But we expected the Skrulls to be bad people.
But we expected the Skrulls because we have like the Secret Invasion storyline, which is dope, and you have a lot of the history of like the Super Skrull and the Skrulls coming to. But again, people are like, you made the Skrulls good guys. No, you made this group of Skrulls refugees. There's probably a reason they're separated from their planet. They didn't say they were going back to be, what was it, Skrullos, I think is actually the name of their planet. But they didn't say they're going back to be with the rest of the Skrulls. They're going to find a new home. There may be a reason. Maybe I misread that. I don't know. Maybe I need to watch it again.
That's funny you said that because I 100%. Okay, so when they showed that they were good guys, my first thought was, bullshit. He's lying. And then they kind of went with it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then
I
when
think
he got
we all
to
had that like reaction though. I was waiting for him to double cross them.
Oh yeah, like
and
I thought it was
didn't
going to be a
happen.
double cross because when they got to his family and you're like, "Oh, little baby Skrull." I was like waiting for him to pull the gun out and be like, "Thanks for your help, but now I'm an asshole again." And the guy that plays that main Skrull, the dude that played John Daggett in The Dark Knight Rises, that character was the shit in this movie. He was hilarious. And I love that they made it so just like when he walks in just sipping on the cup and he's just like, that's my science guy. Like,
Yeah.
awesome.
So that was good. But again, and I really need to rewatch the movie, which is like this is like that lull of I can't go see it in the theater right now just because I'm broke as shit. But we also have to wait now for it to come out, and Endgame will be out before it even comes out on digital release. So
Yep,
I
they just
know.
needed to get it out there so you know who she is.
I really want to watch it again, but maybe I saw that wrong. Guys, tweet us, hit us up on Facebook page, tell us how wrong we are. But that group of Skrulls may not have been bad, but that doesn't mean that all Skrulls are good. And I think
they never and like that's a really good point because now you're making me think back on it differently. Because again, I spent the whole time thinking they were still going to be bad,
right.
and then the movie ended, and I was like, all right. They're
Well,
still going to be bad.
What they did was they made a good point of that we have in the history of comic books, not just Marvel or DC, but we have in the history of comic books where there's like these races of creatures that are the entire race is foul and evil and they just want to come and destroy everything on Earth. And it's not the case. And maybe that's cool because when you have like the Chitauri, those are just a bunch of creepy bug creatures and they are kind of just evil.
Holy shit, Tori.
And and you know they're that's an easy race of alien to like write off and be like, all right, well, you know, they're evil and we're gonna crush them because they're a big army that Thanos brings to Earth, whatever. But now you have these Skrulls and the intelligence of Kree and Skrull. You can't expect them all to be one way or the other.
No.
Why is everything with us so black and white? Why does everybody have to make it they're either good or they're bad? This is a group of refugees, just like the group of... We saw that there are good Kree. Mm-hmm. We saw that there are back on their planet. What was their planet called? You remember?
Kree.
It was called Kree World.
Creon?
back on Crayon. So back on planet Crayon, we saw that there are good Kree out there. We also know that there are bad Kree because of Ronan and because of Yon Rog and because of stuff like that. But Yeah, so that's my point, is that we have this group of Skrulls that may not be bad, and people are upset because now we can't do the secret invasion story. The fuck you can't?
Yeah, bullshit.
You're telling me that there's not a couple who may be left behind?
Look at Man of Steel. Like Zod
Right.
wasn't necessary. He didn't think he was a villain,
Right.
but he was. So it could be something like that, where, like you said, a lot of the Skrulls are just good people. And
Right.
some of them are radical and all that stuff.
Right. So that's a very good point. So yes, I think that this opened us up. There's a reason they opened us up to the Skrulls as a race. We are going to get something with them in the future. You know what I mean? And it may not be an endgame, but the Skrulls will play a part in the MCU at some point. And will it probably be Secret Invasion? Probably. Yeah. Is it going to be soon? Probably not. No. But I think that it is going to be a thing. So that's what I'm excited about. And just for anyone to think that, oh, because this group of refugees is not, they held up their end of the bargain and they're not evil, that doesn't mean that we're not going to get some evil Skrulls. I want Super Skrull in the future, And if they bring the Fantastic Four in so they can do the actual Super Skrull, that'd be great, because the Super Skrull had the Fantastic Four's powers.
I think they're about to go off in this next phase, to be honest. Once they're like, look, once we get these main OG Avengers out of the picture, we can go nuts with these stories.
If they do if they end up not wanting to bring the Fantastic Four into the main MCU, which there's rumors that they don't want to, but if they decide not to, and we get a Super Skrull that has just other Meta's powers, that's cool too. I just want a Super Skrull. That'd be dope.
That'd be so sad, though. They all have to be in the MCU.
So I will tell you this. I've never in my entire life liked the Fantastic Four. I don't know.
Anybody? I don't either.
I don't know why.
Johnny
and that's weird, because I
cool,
thought that you were going to attack me for that.
No, Johnny Storm's cool.
Yeah.
I never really liked the Thing. I like Hulk. Sue Storm's cool. I always like Jean Grey better.
And I think that last Fantastic Four movie, the Thing, looked really good to me. Like I liked how they CGI'd the Thing.
Oh, the one that's like the worst hero movie ever made.
Yeah.
I never even saw it.
You never saw it?
No.
It's a bad movie, but it's only because it's like, no, again, Michael B. Jordan is good in anything he does, and I will stand by that until he does a bad movie.
Yeah.
But until he does. Miles Teller, also very good young actor. I like him a lot.
All four of them were.
All of them.
Yeah,
I was about to say
actors.
the girl from who's the sister of the dragon tattoo chick. I don't remember her name, but she is. She's really great, and I think that it's just a good cast. If the writing were better in that movie, that could have been a bomb. And
it's like they had a good idea, they just didn't execute.
There was no exposition, there was no storyline. We basically got. They're working on a science thing, they get transformed, and then they have a big fight, and that's the end of the movie. That was all we got. I didn't like it. But the CGI and the effects were really great, and I think that it could have been something really great, especially with that cast. I'm really disappointed. But if they bring them into the MCU, I'll watch it. I'll be there. I'm definitely way more interested in the idea of the X-Men being brought into the MCU.
I just feel like at this point, man, like if we get X-Men and Avengers,
right?
Now I get it. Like, give Fantastic Four their own flick, of course. Give X-Men multiple movies, but let them all be together.
I think what I'd really be interested in is finding out how they're going to either write them in as they've been here all along, but this is why we haven't seen them, or there's a dimensional merge.
Yeah, something. Endgame's going to literally change the game somehow, because I read a theory about that the Infinity Stones will produce mutants.
Yeah.
So there's X-Men. Like you said, we all know something's going to happen, whether it's dimensional shift, time travel, something big is going to shake the whole MCU.
At this point, I'm not even upset about the timeline stuff. I don't need... If you give me Captain America and Iron Man are gone, but we now have a young Wolverine a movie or two later, I'm okay with that. They don't all have to actually be... Again, it's not the comic books. Just give me good stories. That's all I want.
Did I tell you my mom has the best theory for what's going to happen to Captain America? Have I told you that?
Do you want to share it on the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's such a good idea. She told me this right after she saw Infinity War for the first time.
Okay.
And it was such a good theory.
I feel like you did tell me.
She just is confident that he's going to end up back. Where was he from? The 20s, 40s?
The 40s.
That
World
somehow
War II.
he's gonna get back to that time, and he's gonna stay, so he can be with Peggy and give her that last dance they've talked about 100 times.
Really?
So
You
that
think?
way he's gone, but he's
Yeah.
not dead.
I don't know, because
And then Bucky or
so the
Falcon
only reason
can
I
take
wouldn't
over.
think that is because he would still be Captain America.
Oh, I want him dead as hell. I
Yeah.
need Captain America to die. Like
I don't
it
think he
needs-
is, because they already said that this is not his last movie. So
I thought this was his.
you don't
last
remember
movie.
when he teased everyone on Twitter? That was like, it was like a big psych, like,
Oh.
haha, I'm not done.
Now I
haha."
don't. Now I'm not even gonna go see Endgame.
Yeah, right.
Dude, I thought this was it.
I don't know. I did see somebody mocked up a couple of those. You know how at the end of certain movies it'll be like Thanos will return in, or Captain like at the end of Captain
Right.
Marvel, Captain Marvel will return in Avengers Endgame. Somebody mocked up a couple of those. Iron Man will not return, and somebody mocked up Captain America will not return, and I was like, damn.
What was the
What
first
if we
time?
get that? What if it's a really solemn ending, like a sad down low ending, and then those are what pops on the screen?
That'd be crazy.
That would fuck my
The
life up.
Russos are nuts, though, man.
Yeah.
They could do that.
Imagine though, like these directors, what they came straight from writing TV. They came straight from writing Community.
Did they do Winter Soldier? They had to have. They had to have done
Did
Winter
they?
Soldier because it's so good. It's one of the best ones. I know they did
I don't
Civil
know.
War.
You have your phone. Look it up.
My computer device.
Yeah, your
Huh.
what is that? The S10? Did you get the 10?
I did.
You
That's
fuck-
why I don't have my soundboard because I
Rich.
just forgot.
Rich asshole. The
I pre-ordered it with 0 down.
I still have the iPhone 7.
When my bill comes through, though,
When that
with
bill
it added
comes
on
through.
there, then we'll talk. Well,
The,
no, we won't because they'll disconnect my
Yeah.
service.
Yeah, that would really be crazy if but they came from doing TV. They did Community. That's where the Russo brothers are from. And then they come and make
That
these
show sucked.
they No.
No, I'm kidding. I've
Sir.
never seen it. I've never seen it.
The but yeah, I think that that's amazing. Let me think. What was the other thing? So people hated the Skrulls. We already kind of covered that. Oh, Nick Fury. How'd you feel about Nick Fury?
I thought he was fine. Like
I have so much opinion on this.
I was dying when you realized Goose was the reason he lost his eye.
Yeah.
That was hilarious, and I'm okay with it. I'm sure there's people bitching and moaning about that too, but that was funny as hell.
Somebody was like, but in the Winter Soldier, he said that it was like a grenade, and then he had a buddy, and
Because why would you ever say you're
Yeah.
some badass soldier and you go,
Flurgan.
I lost my eye to a cat.
a cat
What was that?
scratched me in the face.
Like a cat? Is that some sort
well, it
of
was a
weapon?
Flurgan, but it was never mind.
It was
no.
a big ass cat.
And then
okay?
at the end, he even did his first lie because Coulson was like, "Is it true that you got your eye?" Blah blah blah.
He's like, "Hell yeah."
"I can neither confirm nor deny that." So we already know that he lies about stuff. He's a spy, haha. But but no. So people didn't like that he was. It was the Russo brothers.
Yeah,
they did Winter
I
Soldier.
knew they did because
Man, you're good at that.
everything that is good as hell,
Yeah,
they did.
you're really good at that. So people were like, he was too funny. He was too lighthearted. He's supposed to be like 30 years old,
He's
by the
not
way.
hardened yet. Like
Yeah,
he hasn't
thank
experienced
you.
all that Nick Fury shit.
Exactly. He evolves into who we get at the end of Iron Man 1. That's who he ends up being 20-something
Dude,
years
when
down
he's
the road.
when he's holding Goose and he's like, "Who's the prettiest cat?" And, well, I'm laughing my ass off because like what you said, like you're used to Nick Fury, like
Yeah.
being a
badass.
borderline a-hole, and there he is, snuggling with the cat. Like,
Yeah.
it was pretty funny. And then Coulson was in it for like 8 seconds.
Yeah.
So
I wanted more of him because
did
we
too.
haven't seen him in a movie since the
I
Avengers.
always liked him.
we
back
haven't
in the
seen
day.
him since the Avengers.
Well, Shield, Agents of Shield.
yeah,
but I don't
okay,
watch
but
that.
we don't count that because it's TV and TV is trash.
But you're right.
But
Yeah, after Loki shanked him,
Yeah.
that was it. And he was good even in death, man. He was just
Yeah.
so, oh, that's what that does.
That was 2012. So we got, 7 years of movies without him until finally, boom. But I will say that I really loved that we got that lighter. He was a younger. They made him a beat cop. Well, what do you expect?
Well, he's not the director
He's
of
not.
Shield.
What do you think? He's just going to come in at 30?
See, half the time people like that just complain without
Yes.
thinking about what they're complaining about. Like,
Yes.
think of the setting, man. He didn't just start off as the director of Shield.
Just working in Harley Davidson and working in motorcycles as long as I did, man. We had a lot of police clientele. And I've had a lot of talks. And one of my old buddies, I've sold him probably 3 Harleys now. As soon as I saw that movie and I saw somebody complaining, I asked him, because I don't think I've ever asked that question before. I said, hey, we got into a conversation about like, hey, if you move to a new department or if you move to a new thing, say you get accepted into the CIA or you move up the ranks of being badass law enforcement. He even said they start you at the bottom of you never lateral move into a new department. He said you could be a cop in Florida and have a long tenure career. You move to LA or you move to one of the big markets, they don't give you anything special.
No, well, the only difference is if there's an opening for that position or something.
Well, I'm sure.
But yeah, you're right. If you transfer to a different department, yeah, you just started.
I'm sure if you're a detective and there's
keep in mind, folks, we do live in Jacksonville, which this is not BS data. This is accurate. JSO is like the lowest paid law enforcement agency in the state.
That's a shame.
One of the most lowest paid in the whole country because I used to work for them.
That's a shame. It's a big market too, which sucks because we have a lot of officers and and JSO gets a bad rap.
And this city is terrible.
The city is awful, but I mean, don't get me wrong, it's my home and I love it, but there's a lot of really rough areas, a lot of bad parts, and a lot of JSO officers who genuinely put their life on the line.
Yeah. And
it's rough that they get the pay that they do. I will tell you that I think that just going back to Nick Fury, he was awesome, man. When they're in the hallway, and I don't remember what he did, but that my bad when he was running, like I died.
Oh yeah, because he dimed her out, and then she still ended up helping him.
Oh
he's like,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
She was like, "You really called your superior my bad."
My bad.
That was so funny. Oh, that was.
No,
awesome.
I thought he was good. Like, I'm like thinking in my head, trying to think about the stuff I didn't like, which I'm sure I'll think of it, but. It was good. Like, the movie was just good.
Somebody complained because they did, I think, kind of obviously, which I'd agree with, but a lot of the assholes online complained that they made her gay with her friend.
Until she sees Thor. Watch. They gonna get it on in Endgame.
You think?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
They should. But no, I think I get that. Like, they did the whole, like...
They even had that
two
montage.
Female friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
But they had that montage where they're like slowly dancing in the meadow and like very,
see, to me,
short, but
I don't know, man. But to me, when I go see movies or read the books, like, I don't know, their sexuality and all that stuff is not like on the forefront of my 100%. Mind. So I didn't really get that.
I was just gonna say it because when I read that people were complaining about that, I was like, oh, I didn't get that at all.
No,
because I am not thinking about their sexual orientation. No.
And
at
that goes to what you said too. People went in there with their verdict already decided,
right?
With what the movie was already decided,
right?
And there was no changing it. But no, I didn't get that at all. I just thought they were tight, like they were good friends.
We got really good action sequences too. Let's talk about some of those. We had just at the front of the movie, she was captured by she was trying to extract the password or get the password from the the captured Kree, and it turned out to be a Skrull. And they captured her and put her on the ship because they were trying to get... Huh?
They were bad?
No, they weren't. They were the same group. Remember, they were just trying to get her memories so they could find the thing and get home.
Which that sequence is hilarious when they're rummaging through her
Very
memories.
funny. Love that.
Oh, my God.
But it also led to a really great... where her hands are cuffed in those cylinders.
Yeah.
And she's heating them up continuously with her powers. And it's just... beating the shit out of everybody with these big weights on her arms.
Well, everybody kept talking shit like, oh, she has no expression, no emotion. I'm like,
what?
This woman had the best smirk. Like, when she was beating people's ass, she would just smirk at them. And I'm like, I
will say in the trailer, she came across very emotionless. In the trailer, I agreed with that. But once you see the movie, there's no way you can say that. She was very funny. Like you said, her smirk was very
I told you she
on
was...
point.
Yeah, her smirk was great, and she's so pretty too. So it's like, it's like
beautiful.
A double whammy when she does that. But it's like what I said earlier. That made me like her character so much. Like, she didn't get all worked up about stuff. She's just like, she just did what she had to do. Like you said, she's a soldier, and I actually believed it. I was like, she's a Kree soldier. Like,
yeah, I thought that she pulled that off really well. I like the. I will say they didn't pull punches with those flashbacks though, because like when she fell from the rope. You felt her hit the ground.
Yeah. Like
those scenes where she kept failing. Holy shit.
I saw skinny Steve Rogers run behind her too. If you look really close, he's in the back.
Shut up.
I'm just saying, I didn't make the movie.
I'm just so excited. I'm really excited for Endgame. We got that part in the Endgame trailer where she's staring down Thor, and he puts his hand up and calls Stormbreaker over. And Stormbreaker is way bigger than I don't know why I'm just now realizing it, but it's a big hammer, axe, whatever it is. Just compared to Mjolnir.
Yeah, because once he leans on it and you can get the perspective.
But you know what I'm saying? Compared to Mjolnir, where it was just like the hammer, and then he calls Stormbreaker over, and there's that long Groot arm handle, and it's just a huge axe.
Which I'm so glad they at least showed that in the trailer and or did that in the film, because I'm not going to lie, after seeing that movie, I was like, between her and Thor, what's the problem? That's why I think there's another villain in Endgame. He cannot be the only threat.
So I think, you mean Thanos?
Yeah.
I think Thanos, and again, it's a really popular opinion right now that Thanos is actually going to uncover the true threat to the universe, and that's so scary to think about. But again, not to be all in the comic books, but in the comic books,
hey,
Thanos is more powerful than, Thanos kills Galactus. So Galactus is not exactly like.
Although before we get off on that black hole, another thing too is he could very well be the only villain, because if you think about it, he only had all 6 stones for 5 seconds.
Yeah,
and then he got popped in the chest, and then he had to run. Well, he didn't really run. He did what he set out to do, and he was finished.
Right.
But I'm thinking he's gonna learn how to really use it, and then he's gonna be like, okay.
So the only reason I don't know is because they have all the scenes that they show of him on his farm. He's not wearing the gauntlet.
Yeah, I think he's just done. I think they're going to choose to go after him because they're pissed off. And then he's like, all right, we got to fight.
Yeah, and he's going to be like, I don't even think. I think they're going to get there. I know this sounds crazy. I think they're going to get there ready for a fight. And he's just going to give the whole I'm too old and tired speech. I'm done. I've achieved what I needed to. If you really want something to worry about, start getting ready for this. And then he's going to tell them of something coming. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I didn't get it in the snap.
Yeah.
It's still alive.
I think I think it's going to be, I don't know. I don't see there being another big Thanos fight.
That mofo's going to die.
I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't see there being a huge Thanos fight. And I think that...
be a big disservice if there wasn't.
Let's rewind back to Captain Marvel and Thor, because a lot of people have been saying, which I don't necessarily disagree with, they were saying she didn't come across as what they were building her up to be, because Kevin Feige and a lot of the people around the movie were saying like she's the most powerful hero we've seen, or the most powerful character we've seen in the Marvel universe.
Oh yeah. She
didn't come across as like that Superman level of Omega God kind of.
No, I didn't even think she was above Thor for the longest
time.
And
that's the argument right now, because they were saying that she at least looks like as strong as Thor, now that he's all powered up. And I forgot that he got that power up in Ragnarok.
Yeah, it took him a while.
Yeah, I forgot. So he's pretty powered.
I'm thinking with the gap for when she comes back, she's going to be good to go. Like, she's going to know how her powers work to its full potential. I mean, look at her hair. She learned how to power up her hair. She has longer hair, different eyeshadow.
You know what's crazy is that all of her scenes for Endgame were filmed before they filmed Captain Marvel.
Yep.
That is so bizarre to me.
So she's younger in Endgame.
She is technically younger in Endgame than she is in Captain Marvel. And no wonder her hair is shorter. They gave her a haircut for the
I
new
totally
movie.
Dug her haircut in Captain Marvel.
There's nothing wrong with it
about that.
I mean, again,
the Mohawk looks cool too. Like, I like the Carol Danvers with. Have you seen that? Like in Civil War II and other
they had the Mohawk.
I mean, like when
she had her helmet on.
When she just has it without the helmet,
when
she has that short, almost faux hawk, looks pretty cool.
I can tell you that, and not just to be like, I'm not a sexist, but I don't. I mean, I don't pay attention to a lot of that, like haircuts and that. I don't know. It's just, to me, they're the character. I don't know. I didn't think about her haircut, is what I'm saying. I didn't think about.
I agree.
Anything other than her glowing fists of power. Which again, I would like more exposition, just a little bit, into what exactly is going on there. She's Tesseract power. So, I mean, essentially, right? So the Tesseract basically built that Lightspeed engine, and the Lightspeed engine blowing up gave her powers.
Yeah,
so she is Tesseract powered.
So, yeah, because the core blew up and she absorbed all the energy, right?
So there's a couple theories. One is that she is an
Infinity Stone.
Well, she's a battery, right?
Yeah.
And her powers are not everlasting. So she's been traveling through space and being a one-person Avengers team throughout space. That's where she's been the last 20 years. And she doesn't age, but when she comes back, and at the end of that, when it shows her behind Black Widow and she's like, where's Fury? You know, she looks a little worse for wear. Not worse for wear, but just like disheveled. She just looked older. Right? Yeah, so she looked like disheveled. So people are thinking maybe her powers are going away. But in the Endgame trailer, she looked like she had a fresh shower and she was good to go.
Yeah, I'm thinking when we saw her at the end of Captain Marvel in the post-credit scene, I think she literally just like landed.
Yeah, no,
like,
I agree.
Like, and then what's up? So yeah, you're right. That makes sense.
So I don't know about that, but the I don't think her powers are going to go away. I think that'd be a cheap story writing element to me.
Save that for the sequel.
Save that for the sequel.
Seriously, Spider-Man 2, which everybody thinks is such a great freaking movie, which sucks. What, he got stressed out, so he lost his spider powers?
Yeah, but again, that was a comic book.
I hate that movie.
They had a whole comic book storyline about him losing his powers.
I'm getting upset. I don't want to talk about it.
I like that movie, and you're an idiot.
Sucks.
Coming up soon is our Sam Raimi Spider-Man episode that we keep talking about. If you look on the board, I just wrote next to it eventually because we keep pushing it. Pushing it, and whatever. We'll do it someday. But whatever. It's a good. I love those movies, so I'm willing to do a whole episode on them. But the I don't know, man. I'm excited for. I don't even really have anything to say. I loved Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it was solid.
I thought it was a solid movie. I'm really pumped for Endgame. I think that I'm losing my excitement for Endgame, and I don't mean this in as big a way as people will jump on me for, but now that we're 20 something movies in, that excitement is dulling. It's like I'm just ready for the next one.
Yeah, it's the superhero movie fatigue.
And there is no feeling of this is the end, you know?
You ruined it for me because I was like, Chris Evans is done. So he's either dead or he's going somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Nah, he's coming
back. I think Stark is done. I think
they don't have the guts to kill him.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be back.
Yeah, but they won't kill him.
They won't kill him because Pepper.
Oh, crap. That was my other theory, is we all assume Pepper survived. Because he's sending her the message.
Yeah.
What if he gets back and she's dead? And then he's like, I'm done. We're going to kill Thanos.
Maybe.
And then,
that's possible. It's just, I always think of those photos we saw of her wearing the rescue armor.
Oh, was she wearing?
You remember the leaked photos of her on set?
Oh, never mind.
Wearing the rescue armor. Out. So I think she might be rescue. Which they changed because the rescue armor in the books looked exactly like Iron Man. But the rescue armor, they changed like pink and stuff to just differentiate and make it obvious that it's not him. But yeah, also we've seen the autopilot abilities of his suits. Does he not have a thing that a beacon and a thing to be like, suits,
he's way far out in space.
Suits, come get me.
He's not that. I mean, he's smart, but
yeah, I guess
you could tell I liked in Infinity War.
He
was in uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Like when they were going to Titan, he's like, I'm smart as hell.
Yeah.
But I've never been to damn Saturn's moon.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
Yeah. He's just but we all knew too when he was there with Nebula, she's no stranger to space travel. So.
Yeah.
That's not uncommon for them, the Guardians and such. So.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also really excited for that. I'm really excited to see what goes on with the Guardians and how that progresses.
I was just so pumped when he said he's still doing Suicide Squad. Because
right.
I thought for sure he's going to be like, oh, he's not doing that. But no, and the fact that Disney was like, no, we agreed that we won't worry about Guardians 3 until he's done.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like you have to rush. It was just like, no, go ahead. When you're done, we'll do Guardians.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I don't know. Bottom line, I give Captain Marvel a good 7.5. I loved it. I think that all the people who are complaining about it don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And again, you can fight me. Hashtag fight me on
he said hashtag fight me
at Bat Hat Official on Twitter.
Fight me.
The Bat in the Hat podcast on Facebook. So what's up, Matt? Do you got anything to add to
all
this
right,
episode?
let's jump into news. No, I'm just kidding.
Jump into the
Since
thing we did already.
No, I mean, because with Captain Marvel, I don't feel like there's too much to like go crazy off on a tangent about. It was just good. I'm gonna go 7.5. Like
okay,
you said.
So we actually agree on a rating.
It was good. I love it.
For once. So I know he didn't want to give away spoilers, but I'm going to give away spoilers. So we are doing the comic book reading club, like we said. We're going to do the Batman White Knight, which I'm super stoked to read again. I will read it again, make all my notes, and it'll be a cool episode. we do want to do the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, right?
Well, let's look at our schedule. And for everybody listening in, I'm going to try to stare at our board that's directly behind me. So, is that what would be next week? Spider-Man?
No.
Or Arkhamverse?
Well, we'll decide that. Yeah, maybe we can get some people to tweet us or tell us what they want.
They're not going to do it. No,
so what, honestly, if you guys had to pick, so we have one idea that Matt gave me today from a friend of his that I love. It's our top picks for Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, I'm sold. Let's just do that one.
All right, we're going to do that one.
All right, what are the three choices? I'm just messing with you.
Batman the Animated Series. We could do the second episode of Arkhamverse, which is Arkham City. Or we could do the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Dang, that was hard to say. So we have three choices. We're either doing Sam Raimi Trilogy Spider-Man, we're doing Arkham City for our Arkhamverse series, or we're doing Batman the Animated Series top picks. Please let us know which you would prefer. And all is not an answer.
I think I really want to do Batman the Animated
Series.
I
do too. So say whatever y'all want. We're probably doing that anyway.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Batman the Animated Series. But subscribe, merch link in bio.
If it was overwhelmingly one other way, though, I'd be like, okay.
If everybody really wanted if they're like, talk about Spider-Man, yeah, I'd do
Nobody's gonna do that.
Nobody's.
I feel like we could drop it down to 2 if we had to think about general. No, you know what? Screw it. We're leaving it at 3.
Yeah, we'll do a poll. We'll even put a poll up.
Cool.
Which nobody will participate in.
Nope.
But it's okay. You know what?
We're still in that zone where we can say things like that.
Yeah, I know. We're still in that area where we have like 30 listeners per episode, so
which we appreciate every single one of you.
I love it. I love that I get to even do this for you guys or do it for me and Matt. And
dude, I get messages all the time from friends that listen, and then even people I don't know, which I know now because of the show. I love it, man. It's just, and that's the thing, guys. We do this literally so we can talk about this nerdy shit. That's the whole point. So please, if you want to talk to us about stuff or whatever, just do it.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
We'll get into the same conversations off the mic that we will on the mic.
Do you like comic book? Oh, sorry.
Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been a lot of fun. Shorter episode than usual, but not really. We're at an hour and a half, hour 32.
Solid.
But thank you guys again. Please follow us on Twitter at BatHatOfficial. Like us on Facebook, the Bat in the Hat Podcast. And Matt is going to be setting up our official Instagram page soon because Matt likes Instagram more than I do. So
never mind. Yes, I do like Instagram. I just do it for chicks, man. I just follow chicks.
I just do it for
so many good looking.
I like all the Instagram.
But Instagram,
hotties.
yeah, I'll make us an Instagram. And follow it. I'll let you know when it's done. So.
And don't forget, coming up in a couple weeks, we are going to do the comic book reading club. So get your copy, download your copy, do whatever. Batman, White Knight. Talk to us about it on social media, and we will make sure we put all your comments, questions, and whatnot in that episode.
Real quick, do you have a projected date when you want to talk about White Knight? I just thought about that. Is it exactly a month?
I was thinking 3 weeks, but we can talk about it.
So I found out today is Thursday, March the 21st, the year of our Lord. And so 3 weeks, that would be August 5th.
Cool. August 5th?
Yeah.
Wait.
Sorry.
April 5th.
Yeah, that's why I said November 12th.
What is wrong?
Just don't interrupt.
I was about to say, wait, August.
It's time to go.
That doesn't make sense. All right. April 5th, we're going to do... wait, that's a Sunday, though, right?
I don't know. I'm not a time traveler. I don't know.
Well, you just looked it up on your phone,
No,
ass.
I didn't even turn the screen on. I just stared at my phone.
All right, we'll talk about it. We'll put it on social media. Thank you guys again. We're tired of shit.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry too. All right, let's go. Bye,
See
guys.
you guys.